You can find us at BWSSpodcast.com and on Facebook at BWSS Podcast. This is because we said so. Let's start the show.
And now, recording from beautiful and sexy Miami, with your hosts, Seth and Laz and Research Lucas. It's because we said so.
Yeah. All right. So this is because we said so. This is Seth and Mike 1. We got Laz and Mike 2.
Yo.
We got Lucas in Mike 3.
Hey.
Rocking the winter wonderland. Might get called into work at any moment. We'll see. And we got Ramazan sitting in Mike 4. So good friend of Laz and mine. Worked with him a long time ago. He's going to be on the show, just giving his point of view. And then for the next episode, we're going to be doing a little interview because he's a guy who's had his own company for a while. He's got, over 1,000 employees right now? Is that pretty accurate?
Around, yeah.
Yeah, so, he's just been really doing well. It's a beautiful story. It's a story of an individual who really took, part and took advantage of the American dream. So really, really awesome to have him. We're very, very excited. It's nice to run into him. And it happened to be just Laz was driving by, right?
I just avoided traffic and ran into him.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
just ran into him. He's like, "Hey, what's up?" Blah blah blah. And like, "Oh yeah, give Seth my information," which I already had. So I called him up, and Ramazan and I got together and caught up, which was nice. Got to go see him at his location. Asked him if he wanted to be on the show. I think he has a great story, and he's like, "Yes." And so here we are. All right, so hail from Miami. You can get it on our website, BWSSpodcast.com. Normally, I list all the ways you can find us, but if you go to BWSS Podcast, Twitter, TikTok, Amazon, it's all there. You can find us all there. Any links you want. We're on iTunes, all that crap. We record, for those of you just listening, we record on camera at Arcane Studios. All the music is by the Unsilenced. And then we release 2 shows a week. Monday or Tuesday is going to be the weekend news, and then Friday evenings, generally Friday afternoon. I was saying the fun stuff. I kind of want to call it the chill side because it's a little bit more chill and not always as fun. But anyway, this is BWSS episode 53, the weekend news. And I want to say sorry, the last one was late. I posted it, and then, Laz, of course, what was it, thumbs down for the late episode or something like that? You put in the group text. I'll get into it, but I bought a new computer and...
Oh, it wasn't thumbs down because you were late. It was just thumbs down because of the situation.
Okay. Well, yeah. It's all good. Either way, I was late. Thumbs down. Freaking A. But, so I got a new computer, and when we talk about beef in the next episode, we'll get into it because that's my beef. I got a new computer, and I just didn't do as much research as I should have, and blah, blah, blah. So topics for today, we're going to talk about the GameStop short squeeze. Unless you live under a rock or you don't pay attention to the news at all, you can't possibly have missed it. We're going to get into that pretty deeply. Fired for getting the COVID vaccine. Somebody got fired for getting the COVID vaccine. Anyone hear this?
Oh, no.
No?
Wow.
Right. India and China.
To get it or not to get it?
No, they got it, and it was a certain circumstance in which they got it, and they ended up getting fired. One of them was a CEO.
I have something about that too.
Do you really?
About something to do with the vaccine.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
India and China are at it again, right along the border. We're with you, India. Like, I don't know, Ramazan, unless you've heard me mention on the show, but after the United States, we get tons of listens in India compared to other countries. It's actually pretty awesome. 2 men caned in Indonesia, which is pretty fucked up, I have to say, especially the circumstance. And we got Lucas's WTF news. I'm skipping the stock updates moving forward because Market Matt and I are putting together our own stock show. It's going to be a 30-minute show. We're going to do 2 a week, see how it does. And then we might bump it up to 3 or 4. We recorded the last episode last night. I'm going to finish editing it today. It's going to go out pretty soon. So those of you who follow us looking for the stock stuff, we're going to do more of an in-depth stock. It's called Market Peek, P-E-E-K, taking a peek at the market. So pretty soon you'll be able to find us on YouTube. And with that, we're going to jump into everyone's favorite segment.
It's time for Quick News.
All right, we finally got it. Bloomberg, Chinese and Indian troops in fresh clashes among disputed border. China and India say they agreed to push for an early disengagement of frontline troops after soldiers clashed along their contested Himalayan border in the first outbreak of violence in the area in 7 months. Soldiers from both sides were injured in the fresh outbreak of violence. And Indian Army confirmed in a statement there was a minor face-off at the Nakula area of North Sikkim on January 20th that was resolved by local commanders. China's Foreign Ministry spokesman Zhao Lijian told the Daily Briefing in Beijing on Monday that he had no information to offer on the reports of clashes. Hu Xinjing, the editor-in-chief of Communist Party-backed Global Times, called the reports fake news in a tweet. So, now everyone's using fake news. Donald Trump. Yeah, exactly. Whatever. I mean, I've used it. Let's be honest. India and China share a 3,488 kilometer, for use Celsius time, folks, 2167-mile disputed and unmarked boundary known as the line of actual control. Both sides moved thousands of soldiers, tanks, artillery to the disputed border after clashes in the Galwan Valley and Ladakh last June that left 20 Indian soldiers and unknown number of Chinese troops dead. So we've covered the clashes before. In fact, last time we did it, like 4 Indian soldiers or like kids or men got kidnapped. And then China's like, oh, yeah, we have them. Here you go. You can have them back. And they reported that other people died. Apparently stuff is still going on there. So because it's like all in the mountains, it's really hard to draw a line.
But I hate the fact that people still have the border problems. Like you don't know which land is yours and not.
It's not that you don't know. It's that why do you care that much?
And there's nothing there, right? There's
and you said it last time, like, don't come over my line.
Yeah,
you stepped over. It's like, you know what? Chill. Like,
relax.
Seriously.
It's not even that serious.
No, it's not. Up in the freaking mountains, it's not like you guys are, there's gold up there in them there hills or anything. Good Lord.
Makes no sense.
All right, Laz. So what do you got? What's your first one?
Paramedic of the Year accused of helping to steal vaccines.
Oh, dude. Yeah. Paramedic of the Year?
He was Paramedic of the Year last year, I believe. And I keep finding the Florida man stuff.
So, it's Florida again?
Yeah.
Jeez, bro. Do you look for Florida?
I literally, anytime I find something that's like a little bit interesting or like a little bit weird, it's always Florida.
Of course, it's freaking Florida.
And it's never like South Florida. It's Bartow, Florida. And I have to go like look for exactly where that place is too.
Sure.
Like, it's crazy. So he helped a supervisor steal COVID-19 vaccines meant for first responders.
Sure.
Joshua Colin, 31, forged some vaccine screening consent forms and helped cover up theft of more than 3 vials containing 10 doses each of the Moderna vaccine. This is in Polk County.
Was he going to sell the vaccinations? I don't even. 3 vials, like
it's like 30 of them. That's what. 30 vaccines. So I mean, which was supposed to go to firefighters and police.
Well, they're supposed to get them twice, so technically it'd be 15, but sure.
Oh yeah. But I think they do another batch when they do the second time. So he probably was planning to steal the second side also.
Sure.
At the end of his shift, Colin noted that he administered 28 vaccine, and 2 of them were no good, supposedly. But what happened was that they were using like fake names. Falsifying. So basically, he's charged with falsifying an official report, creating a fictitious person, using criminal use of other people's personal information.
Sure.
What did he do? He was really helping his boss, I guess, to cover things up. They realized, the captain of the fire department realized that he was doing that, and noticed that the doses were missing. I got it from Fox News, of course.
So that's another person that probably, I don't know, got fired from something, I'm sure.
But the thing is that he was Paramedic of the Year last year, so it's like...
What a dumbass. Talk about, Rudy Giuliani part 2, man.
Just throwing your shit away, bro. Like,
yeah.
Come on.
What a dumbass. Seriously. So I don't know. Did they mention what type of time he's looking at or minimum sentence or anything?
This is brand new. They just happened. It happened like a couple days ago.
All right, Rizka Munawara. This is from the Associated Press. 2 men caned 77 times for having sex in Indonesia's Aceh.
I thought you said they came 77 times.
No,
I'm like,
whoa. Big difference, bro. Caned, K-A-N-E-D. That would have been a positive story. That would have been something
Laz's
for
Corner of Positivity.
Laz's Corner Positivity. Jesus, that would be pretty positive. So 2 men in Indonesia's conservative Aceh province were publicly caned 77 times Thursday after neighbors reported them to Islamic religious police for having sex. Dozens of people witnessed the caning at Banda Aceh at Tamanasari, Tamanasari City Park. It's the third time in the province, and the only province in Indonesia to practice Sharia law. It has caned people for homosexuality since the Islamic law was implemented in 2015 as a concession made by the government to end the long-running separatist rebellion. So it's like big rebellion going on, and they're like, listen, let us practice Sharia law, and we'll leave them alone. And the government's like, okay, pretty fucked up. So the men aged 27 and 29 were whipped across the back and winced with pain as a team of 5 enforcers wearing robes and hoods took turns relieving one another every 40 strokes. So it's like after 40 strokes, they had to switch.
Yeah, probably tiring.
Yeah, dude, if you got to hit somebody that many fucking times, you have to switch. Go fuck yourself. The men were arrested in November after residents became suspicious and broke into the rented room where they were caught having sex. 4 other people received 17 strokes for extramarital relations and 40 strokes for drinking alcohol. Sharia law code allows up to 100 lashes for morality offenses, including gay sex. Caning is also punishment for adultery, gambling, drinking, and for women who wear tight clothes and men who skip Friday prayers. So I don't know if you, Laz, you might be old enough to remember, but there was a kid, actually you might not, there was a kid, an American kid who I don't know, ran a bunch on the top of a bunch of cars, but they called it flogging, but he ended up getting flogged. Americans were like, you can't do that to an American, blah, blah, blah. Like, dumbass, ran over a bunch of freaking cars, like got on the hoods and started walking all over them.
Why?
Why? Because he's a dumbass American
I've
kid.
seen that in a movie. That was India as well or somewhere else?
I think, I want to, I don't know. I want to say I don't remember. Lucas, can you look it up? American caned, American men flogged, FLOGGED, in the Middle East.
How to spell flogged?
Okay, whatever, dickhead.
In Saudi Arabia.
I don't think it was Saudi Arabia. Just put Middle East. It was in the 90s, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, but you're doing some dumb shit anyway. So
yeah, I hear you. Yeah, I hear you. But it's just, dude, I mean, it's just messed up that they would get caught because somebody broke in. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's messed up either way. So, all right, Laz, what's your second one?
Inmate accidentally released from TGK and he shows up to the virtual court hearing.
Wait, what's TGK?
Oh, TGK is where you're basically like county jail here.
Okay.
So they released him by accident and he was supposed to get sentenced on the Monday. He ended up going home. And I guess his wife or his girlfriend broke up with him. So he's like, I can't turn myself in yet. I got to take care of my dog, make sure everybody have all my stuff. But it's crazy to let him go, at the end of, they let him go by accident.
Whoops.
And then they were looking for him for a week or two. And then he just shows up to online court with his lawyer was there, I guess. And it's like, oh, he's here. So he's not really a flight risk. But he got conviction of throwing a deadly missile and probation violence.
Throwing a deadly missile?
Yeah, and I'm what the hell is it throwing? I Googled it. I couldn't find what it was.
Throwing a deadly, I don't know, maybe it could be like a knife, or something. When you say missile, obviously
that's what I was like. I was reading it. I'm like, missile? What the hell are you throwing?
Missile, maybe it could be a knife. Maybe it could be an arrow, something that's like a projectile
just
of
using
sorts.
the word for something else, maybe?
I don't know.
He was a minimum custody level inmate. So I mean, I guess it wasn't that serious. It's just a deadly missile. That shit's weird.
Let him go. You let him go. No.
And during the court hearing, he just kept turning off the video.
Really?
Yeah.
He's like, I gotta smoke my bowl.
I don't know, bro. It's funny because when my daughter's in school and she wants to do something crazy, she'll just turn off the Zoom real quick.
I got you.
Turn off the screen.
Sure.
Turn off the mic.
Yeah, because she does schooling from home, right? Still doing it?
Yep.
I got you. Do you still peek in the door to embarrass her?
Oh, I have to watch her 24/7. Can't trust her ass.
Sure. I feel you. All right, I got 2 more. Marine Group, USA Today, President Biden accelerating move to put Harriet Tubman on the $20 bill. Did you guys hear this one?
Yeah, I saw that one.
So the Biden administration is accelerating steps to feature abolitionist hero Harriet Tubman on the $20 bill, a change announced during the Obama administration that stalled under President Donald Trump. Imagine that. We're exploring ways to speed up that effort, White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki told reporters on Monday. After the Obama administration announced the proposal change in 2016, Trump said that replacing former President Andrew Jackson with Tubman on the $20 bill was pure political correctness. He said Tubman could be on the $2 bill instead. So the one that nobody uses,
That don't
like
even
I keep $2 bills just laying around. I got one in my wallet for good luck. Like they're supposed to be good luck, but nobody uses that
I got one in
crap.
my wallet too.
I'll tell you what, though, it'll be the nicest bill out there because nobody ever uses them. But anyway, the new design is initially scheduled for 2020, but the Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin said in 2019 that the department needed to put focus on adding anti-counterfeiting steps and security features. Last time a portrait on a bill was changed was in 1929 when Alexander Hamilton was placed in front of the $10 bill, replacing Jackson, and Jackson was elevated to the $20 bill in 1928, replacing Grover Cleveland. By law, no living person can be on a bill, and Secretary of the Treasury is given the ultimate authority over the design of bills, which includes the portrait. The only portrait on the Secretary is legally required to print on a bill is George Washington on the one. So that one can never be changed. And then my last one. So this is what I was talking about. Fired for the COVID vaccine. BBC outraged after a casino boss jumps queue for jabs. The CEO of a casino company valued nearly $2 billion has quit after he and his wife were charged with lying to officials to get the COVID vaccine. Rob Baker, 55, of Great Canadian Gaming Corp, and his wife, Ekaterina, 32, had traveled to the remote northern Yukon territory for the jabs. So apparently this guy has his beautiful, hot Russian wife. I can relate, let's be honest. So the region, home to many indigenous people, has faster vaccination rate than the rest of Canada, data shows. The couple had posed as motel workers, but were quickly found out by locals. They were discovered after being asked to be taken to the airport straight after the vaccination last week in a small community of Beaver Creek on the border with U.S. state of Alaska. They were flown there by private plane after first arriving in the city of Whitehorse from Vancouver. I am outraged by the selfish behavior, said Yukon's community service minister, John Stricker. We had not been imagining someone would go to this sort of length to mislead or deceive. In a statement to BBC News, the Great Canadian Gaming Corp, GCGC, said on Sunday, Mr. Baker is no longer affiliated with this fight in any way. This is kind of funny. According to the Canadian media reports, Miss Baker is Katerina is a Russian-born aspiring actress who has recently appeared in films Fat Man and Chick Fight. So, very reputable movies, I'm sure. So, that being said, we're going to jump into shout-outs. Any shout-outs over there, Laz?
Nah, not today.
Nothing? Nothing this week? Lucas, any shout-outs over there?
No.
No? Nothing? Okay. Ramazan, shout-outs over there?
I don't.
No? Okay, fair enough. So I'm just going to shout out the GameStop folks, WallStreetBets. We're going to get into it, very, very shortly after this quick little break. But congratulations for beating this system and really exposing a lot of the bullshit out there. That's for sure. So
Finally.
Yeah, seriously. So we're going to take a quick little break and we'll be back very shortly with the stock market GameStop short saga and Lucas's WTF news. All right. Last minute thoughts? Anyone? Oh, Laz can't wait. There he goes. All right. We'll see you. Boom. Where we're going, there is no road. Is that what you're saying? Is this a...
No, I looked outside. There was no road.
Oh, no road outside where you are.
You better get to work, bro.
They didn't call him. Thank the Lord, because he's here.
But we live on a snow emergency route. They salted it, but they haven't even plowed it yet.
Sure. Why? What's the point in plowing if it's still going to keep snowing,
Keep it clear.
That's right. All right, so we're
The
back.
speaker.
We're going to go ahead and get started. We're going to jump into the GameStop market cap, and I'm going to turn off the speakers. Look at that. So once again, if you guys haven't heard what's going on, and those of you who stopped over from Market Peak, welcome. But that, for those of you who haven't heard anything about what's going on, it's a pretty amazing story. In fact, Ramazan, you likened it to the French Revolution, right? Is that what you said?
Yeah, I call it French Revolution of Wall Street.
Yeah, pretty much.
And this is just the beginning, in my opinion.
100%.
Yeah.
And a lot of people feel that way.
And we are going to see that in different platforms as well, not only Wall Street. Because people are now much more educated.
Sure.
They know what's going on.
Much better connected,
Yeah.
for sure.
So they used to think of this like a soccer game, right? They used to play the game in our side, in our field. Now the game is played in their side, and they don't like it.
Sure.
But,
No, they don't like it at all.
This is going to continue. Of course, my only, which I don't want the small investors to get hurt. They gotta be very cautious. They gotta be very careful, because they are the one who write the rules.
Sure.
And they have
that's
the
what we're
politicians
finding
in
out.
their pockets. Yeah, trust me. They all are friends, and they all together, and they're gonna protect each other, right?
100%. All right, well, let's get into it. I'm going to go ahead and basically explain where it all started, how it all started. We're going to go through the entire timeline, and then we're actually going to go through some of the aftermath as well. Chris Prentice from Reuters, famed GameStop bull Roaring Kitty, and is a Massachusetts financial advisor. As YouTube streamer who helped drive the surge in the shares of GameStop Corp., is a 34-year-old financial advisor from Massachusetts, and until recently worked for insurance giant MassMutual. Keith Patrick Gill is the person behind Roaring Kitty YouTube streams, which, along with a string of posts by Reddit user Deep Fucking Value, helped attract a flood of retail cash into GameStop. And the video that he posted, which kind of started as all, was 5 months ago, back when GameStop was $4. So Reuters identified Gill as Roaring Kitty through a now dissolved New Hampshire-based company created by Gill, which shares the same name and email as his Roaring Kitty YouTube account. So he basically looked at company registers, realized the same address as Roaring Kitty, like, oh my God, it's you, according to public records. The Daily Mail earlier on Thursday also identified Gill as both Roaring Kitty and Deep Fucking Value. So he had two accounts, two different, basically putting out the same information or the same call to action. Through frequent posts on Reddit's WallStreetBets thread, Gill became the Pied Piper of GameStop, sharing screenshots of his portfolio, which appeared to inspire thousands of amateur retail investors to follow him into the ailing retailer too. YouTube videos, he expanded upon his investment thesis, arguing the company was undervalued and well-positioned to rapidly grow its fledgling online business. As trading in the shares reached a fever pitch this week, his portfolio, or I guess last week, his portfolio appeared to encourage other investors to stay in the stock. Your steady hand convinced many of us to not only buy, but hold. Your example literally changed the lives of thousands of ordinary people, wrote one person on Wednesday. So basically, this guy, to summarize, 5 months ago, big on GameStop. And thing is, GameStop, the most you would see it is like $68, probably about years, like 5, 6, God, maybe even like 8, 9 years ago. For the most part, it's been hanging around $20. And the reason why it hasn't been doing so well, nobody buys video games anymore. If you want a video game, you just download it nowadays. Yep. So their business model is starting to disintegrate. But one of its arguments is they're moving into online. They started to fund and sponsor esports events. So that's how they're keeping themselves relevant. But this guy just kept talking about it. People kept buying. And then all of a sudden, he got it to, up to like $65 and found out that all these big guys, all these hedge fund managers, which we'll get into, shorted the stock. And all these people are like, no, we're not going to let that happen. We've been in this with you. We've been investing with you. We're the reason why it got up to $65. We're not going to let them do that. They got on WallStreetBets, call to action. So many people invested that the stock actually maxed out at almost $500 freaking dollars. Pretty amazing stuff. Laz, did you hear it?
I heard it, but I don't really understand everything about it. That's the whole thing.
Elon Musk joined too.
Elon Musk, yep.
And one of the reasons that I believe he joined, same guys who was betting actually on the GameStop was actually betting on the Tesla stock back in days.
Oh, betting
So-
against it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So Elon
Sure.
Musk actually has a little bit of anger and revenge.
Good for him.
Now he has money, of course, but
Hell yeah.
and he wants to be on the other side and help the small investors.
So he put up game stunk. So stunk
Yeah.
is so it's kind of like a exactly. I didn't make that connection. I'll tell you what, anybody that betted on Tesla to short, man, you lost a lot of money. Because here's the thing, when you bet on a short, you're borrowing the stocks. You're
And you
not
have to
buying
pay it
them
back.
yet, you're
I
borrowing them.
I
But-
saw that, like,
Yeah, but if you lose it, you got to buy the stocks.
and you got to give it back.
Yes.
So if you short it when it's 65 and all of a sudden you got to buy the shares when they're 300, you lost a ton of freaking money. So is what Roaring Kitty did legal? That's the question. Some lawyers have said the unusual role Guild played and other Reddit users played in taking GME could draw regulatory scrutiny, which it has, but they stress it is not clear whether he did anything wrong. Ultimately, the issue is going to be whether people were putting out materially false or misleading information for the purpose of inducing others to buy stock, said Jacob Frankel, a former SEC enforcement attorney. If he says what he says if he is what he says he is not breaking the law. There's absolutely nothing wrong with telling others to buy stock if it's honest and in good faith. And I've watched a couple of the videos. This guy's not, unless he's lying about what he's saying, there's not a lot of illegal stuff. It's a bunch of people that got together and decided to freaking buy the stock. Are there some people in WallStreetBets that might have said some shit that isn't true? Probably, but they're not going to be big back to this guy. This guy turned a $50,000 investment into $40 million. That's the actual report. That's the one that's been going on. But let's say it was even half of that, $20 million.
Yeah, but I don't understand what the problem is.
What the hedge fund managers been doing for years should
Decades.
have been illegally.
Decades.
Yeah, for decades, maybe since it started.
And doing it
should have been
illegally.
illegal.
Yeah, it should be
Not
illegal.
the guys that small investors. What they're trying to do now, they are actually showing on the news as a wrongdoing or illegal.
Sure.
So they are betting on a company which is GameStop that have actually thousands of employees. They want the company to go bankrupt so they can make money.
100%.
That should be illegal anyway.
So the way it happens is and the reason why people are so pissed off is because once again, when you short a stock, those stocks all of a sudden are being purchased. Like there's a guarantee that they're going to be purchased. So what happens is when you short a stock, that counts as a purchase.
Yes.
So the stock goes up and up and up because all these people were shorting it, and regular investors, could be me, could be anybody, are like, oh my God, the stock is going up. This is awesome. I'm going to buy some stock too. And then what happens is all these people that were shorting the freaking stock obviously cancel the shorts, or they cancel some of their purchases, or they go ahead and end up winning. The stock freaking dips, they make their money, and the people like us who got into it because they thought it was doing well ended up losing money. And that's how they end up doing this over and over. And that's why people are pissed off. They're tired of this shit. So Kevin Roos, go ahead.
This has been happening for years, actually. but,
Decades.
why we are realizing now, because they locked the people home. They said stay home, and people are start to investigate more about the money, more about the currency,
That's true.
more about the Wall Street.
Sure.
They are actually breaking the system now.
100%.
The same system they created, they manipulated, and they are angry now because we are playing the same game,
They should be angry.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but they did nothing
And
wrong.
I say
That's
again,
what I'm
this
saying.
is just the
Like,
beginning.
Sorry about that, folks. Get over it. Kevin Roos, New York Times. The GameStop reckoning was a long time coming. The simplest explanation for what happened is a bunch of hyper-online mischief makers in Reddit's WallStreetBets forum, a clan of self-described degenerates with usernames like Dumbledore Roth IRA and Cold Cut Combo 69, decided it would be funny and righteous and maybe even profitable. But the profitability, they weren't interested in the profitability. They really just wanted to screw these guys, to execute a short squeeze by pushing the price of GameStop's stock. And what you do with a short squeeze is all these people are shorting it. You bump the price up. All of a sudden, the people that are shorting it, now it's like, do they cut their losses, or do they do another short to cover the fact that they short? Kind of like when, you buy a stock, up here and it starts dipping down. Do you just sell, or do you buy more stock to average out your share price? So that's why they're doing the short squeeze. And what happened was the strategy worked. Within 2 days, GameStop was the most heavily traded stock in the world. Elon Musk, a representative of AOC, got behind the revolt of Wall Street Bet users were posting screenshots of their suddenly inflated accounts. And here it goes, the 50,000 is turning to 40 million. One of the hedge funds that shorted GameStop stock, Melvin Capital, had to get a $2.75 billion bailout from two other investors because he got so fucked over by this. So, that's freaking great. Sorry about that.
How many times do you remember when we had that situation? I think it was in like 2005 or 2006 where everybody lost all the money that they invested because of whatever was going on.
Was it Enron?
Enron was one of them too. And we had lost like everything that was in there.
Yeah, Enron was one of the big ones for sure.
Yeah.
And then what was the one with Bernie Mackey, whatever? He was the one. Everything was just a big ass Ponzi scheme. Yeah. So, but a lot of that happened.
Madoff?
What's that?
Madoff?
Madoff? Madoff. By the way, did you find the flogging kid, by the way?
Yes, I did. Michael P. Fay.
Michael P. Fay.
Research Lucas.
Did he get flogged? Did it actually happen?
Yeah.
He did. How many?
I believe it was 4 times.
4? Wow. 4
Yes,
times for jumping over cars, but 77. What's crazy about the 77, just jumping back, is they were originally scheduled to get 80, but they took 3 off for time already served. The fuck out of here.
Theft and vandalism. He stole street
street signs.
Yeah.
Was it streets? Okay, that's what it was. Okay.
He shook,
All right.
He shook the dude's hand.
Did he?
Yeah.
After he got flogged? Really?
Yeah.
That's
he
hilarious.
shook hands and just like, okay, cool.
So cowboy. All right, Wall Street Bets. You'll find impassioned essays from traders who say betting on GameStop has made them feel newly empowered in a financial system that has only taken advantage of them and their families for years. Redditors make good points, though. Big banks and hedge funds really do play by different rules than retail investors. Wall Street banks really did get bailed out after the 2008 financial crisis when Main Street homeowners suffered. So in other words, they got bailed out and regular investors like us lost all their damn money. MBAs and fancy suits are probably no more likely to give you good investing advice than guys on YouTube with names like Rory and Kitty. If GameStop stock crashes or regulators step in to call off the party, these disillusioned day traders will keep trying to create chaos for the elites they feel have spent decades profiting from their expenses.
They are betting on a company to
fail.
go bankrupt, to fail, and they are going to make money.
100%.
They have done this in 2008-9. There are hundreds of companies like the zombie companies that we are talking about, right? So
there's a lot of countries that do it, but America is one of the very few that when you buy a shorting contract, and Matt, he was the one who was explaining this to me, you can sell that contract. America, I think he said America's the only country that'll do it. Yeah. But if I get a short contract, you can actually sell the contract you got to somebody else, which is, so listen to this one. So I get a contract to short a stock. The stock is going down. The contract is worth money, right? I sell it to somebody else, and then I pump the stock back up. So I made money from selling it, and then I make money from getting the stock back up. So you're double dipping. It's just so ridiculous that's even legal.
Remember, those who makes money on Wall Street, they know system is broken because they are the one who writes it.
Yep, pretty much.
So
how many people that worked
simple.
for Wall Street end up being like Treasury Secretary or SEC Secretary and stuff like that? Think
about who's our Secretary of Treasury now, who used to work for JP Morgan.
Yep, there you go.
And
prime example.
The system
they're still connected.
repeat itself.
Yeah, completely. So how have shorters been doing? Because people think, shorting is where the money is. It's really not. Bob Pisani, CNBC, short sellers are down $91 billion in January alone. Last year, it was $243 billion. But here's the thing. It ends up being like a return of negative 26%. So, I mean, it is not overall. People do not make money. If you're good at it, you can. But most people lose money. I think it's like 65% of shorted stock contracts end up going, in the negative. And so while traders were focused on stocks that have made money for short sellers due to being in serious sectors that were of our favor, ExxonMobil, or had accounting regularities such as Lucan Coffee and Wildcard, most shorts do not succeed. And here's the thing, Lucan Coffee, I believe that was China. Can you look up Lucan Coffee? Luckin, pretty sure it's China. They completely made up their revenue. Like it was off by like billions of dollars. And it was a short seller that did the research. Same thing with Nikola. I've talking about Nikola. They are an EV company. Instead of doing electric, they want to do hydrogen. And GM had signed a big contract with them. But a short seller, we talked about this. But a short seller came up and was like, listen, the technology isn't proven. They don't have anything that actually works yet. Blah, 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 blah. The stock freaking tanked. It was a short seller. The stock freaking tanked. GM backed out. So they do have a lot of power, but they can be considered a bit of a check on some of these companies. Most of the time, as you alluded to, though, Ramazan, it is bullshit. Just want the company to fail. They'll do anything they can do to make it fail. At any one time, short sellers typically have 900 billion to 1.3 trillion in short bets out in the market. So that's right now, there's from 900 to 1.3 trillion dollars being shorted as this very moment, which ends up being about 2 or 3% of the U.S. stocks in total. That may seem like a small amount of money, but short sellers play a very important role. They're instrumental in calling out companies that have questionable accounting, like I mentioned with Luke and Coffee, and was the case with Luke and Coffee said that. And they also provide hedges to long portfolios insurance. And this is kind of important too. Let's say I buy Tesla and I put in, let's say $10,000 in Tesla. What I can do is I can buy a contract to short it. So if it does go down, I have insurance. Like, okay, I want it to go up, but if it does go down, I make money off that too. So shorting is considered a bit of insurance. In fact, when you talk to a lot of financial people, they'll say, oh, did you buy insurance? Basically, did you short the stock? So if it does go down, you're still being covered. But that's where GameStop story comes in. Shorts provide liquidity on the back end of rallies. If you're a long seller at the top end of the rally, the shorts are the only ones buying your stock. And I mentioned that before. You mentioned you're a long holder. Going long means you're holding the stock for a long, long time. But what happens is, and I mentioned this, the people buy it because they're shorting it. It goes up. All of a sudden, they drop the price, and regular people end up getting screwed. So what about the authorities? So is this legal? Is this not legal? I mean, that's the question, right? Everything that hedge funds has been doing has been fucking legal. So why can't we been doing legal? What do you think, Ramazan? Legal, not legal?
Anybody should buy the stock, and anybody should be able to buy the stock. That's what they want, right? They want you to buy their stocks.
Pretty
That's
much.
what they're doing. Sure, they got together, they bought it at the same time. That's what the hedge fund manager used to do.
Pretty much.
Take them to the expensive lunch in New York, in Manhattan. Hey, tomorrow let's buy this stock. It was a little bit different.
Sure.
Instead of millions of people with $100 in your pocket, now hedge fund managers with billions of dollars pumping the money at the same time to their stock and manipulating the market.
Yep.
So, in my opinion, what the people are doing, it's basically
should be legal.
It's legal.
Pretty much.
This is legal.
Russell Houghton, Hotten, BBC, for its part, Reddit said that it had not been contacted by the authorities over the stock price movement. So Wall Street Bets, it's a Reddit, and they've got over 6 million people in there, which is amazing. Yeah. Reddit site-wide policies prohibit posting illegal content or soliciting or facilitating illegal transaction. What's that?
A small note that I heard recently, actually today in the morning, that they might close the Reddit.
They're thinking about it.
Yes, and so what the people are doing, actually, they're signing up the newsletters. And so the guy who created the Wall Street movements are going to start to basically send the email and newsletter, what is the next move, what they are going to do.
100%.
That is probably going to be the direction.
Could you imagine this guy, if you have 6 million... when I last looked, it was like 6.8 million. It's probably over 7 by now.
You can do whatever you want.
This guy has, he could be like, buy this stock. Boom. Like literally, that's it. All you got to do is just whatever this guy says, just do it. And you're golden unless they try to stop it. I don't think it's a fad, said John Patrick Lee, a video game investment expert at Van Eck. Retail trader will not lean on Wall Street to manage their money. And I definitely now see an antagonistic relationship between the old guard, which is Wall Street, and the new traders. And I agree. I'm up 800, 900% for the year. I don't need I don't need professional people anymore. Like, who does? You do the research yourself. You follow the trends. There's no need to pay somebody else to manage your shit. The only time you should ever do that is a 401k because you don't really have a choice. What's that, Les?
Yeah, we have all the access now.
We have all the access. Yep. Just do your research.
Because before Wall Street was just like not a fantasy world, but it's just up there.
Kind of was, right?
Yeah, like you don't know what's going on over there. Yeah, you heard. Like, 9 to 5.
You had to get your charts. You had to see the stock price in the newspaper. You weren't getting like updates every day or every hour.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So Robinhood. So this is where it gets really freaking crazy. So all these stocks bumped up, and what happened was Robinhood, TD Ameritrade, Webull, a lot of these exchanges that sell GameStop, AMC was another one, Naked was another one,
Best Buy.
BlackBerry. What's that?
Best Buy.
Best Buy too? Okay. So what happened was these stock companies stopped letting people buy the stock. So I invested $3,000 in Naked, NAKD. I bought it at $1.41. It was another one that they were betting against, another one that we were trying to protect and force up. I bought it Wednesday, right before the bell, $1.41. By like 10 a.m. Thursday morning, it was up 134%. I'd made $4,000 like that. Okay. I go to do family stuff. I check back like 2 hours later, 3 hours later, it's plummeting. Like I actually sold it for $1,000 loss. And the reason it plummeted was because Robinhood, which is where a lot of these people came from, because Robinhood is, steal from the rich, give to the poor, supposed to be on our side, supposed to be the retail investors, haven. They stopped letting people buy the freaking stock. So GameStop couldn't buy it. Naked couldn't buy it. And because you couldn't buy it, all the freaking short sellers were winning, and people saw the stock starting to drop. People saw that you couldn't buy it. People started panic selling. The stock dropped by like 50, 60% within a matter of 2 hours, the one that I bought in addition to that. So Robinhood, this is Carissa Bell from Engadget. Robinhood can now add a class action lawsuit to its growing list of headaches after it said it would restrict users from trading GameStop and other stocks. The class action lawsuit was filed in New York on Thursday, alleging that Robinhood deprived their customers of the ability to use their service in an effort to manipulate the stock market for the benefit of people and financial institutions. The lawsuit comes hours after Robinhood informed users that it would restrict a handful of stocks, including GameStop, BlackBerry, AMC, American Airlines, Naked, which is another one that I freaking bought, and due to recent volatility, we continuously monitor the markets and make changes where necessary, Robinhood said. Basically, like, follow the market, we're just not going to let you buy anymore. Bullshit. These freaking hedge fund managers got, somehow got their grubby little hands in there and made these people stop selling the freaking stock.
But let's talk about the Robinhoods.
Sure.
Robinhood started as a free, no charge when you buy stock and sell stock.
It still
right?
is to this day.
Yeah, so it looks good, right? When things looks good, I always get scared. So, but how they used to make money, how they are making still money.
They get money from the institutions.
By selling your information, how you are buying the stock and selling the stock, your movements to the hedge fund manager. The last month, the December of 2020, they sold actually Robinhood all the information to Cohen Brothers, who owns the hedge funds.
The Cohen Brothers is the company that bailed out the freaking $2.3 billion. They're the ones that bailed out the other ones.
So that's right. So they have very good relationship.
Real quick, the Cohen Brothers also bought the three most expensive sculptures that we talked about like 2 weeks ago. Oh. The $180 million sculptures, they bought those too. Anyway, Ramazan, sorry.
So I don't think none of them is our friend, actually.
Well, see, here's the thing. I have Fidelity. That's where my IRA is. Both my IRAs. They were one of the companies that did not restrict. So people that have Fidelity, in fact, that's where I'm probably going to put my money. So the lawsuit comes after, I already said that. A spokesman for Robinhood declined to comment. Imagine that. Robinhood isn't the only firm to restrict trading from GameStop. Interactive Brokers, Webull, which I said, TD Ameritrade also opposed similar restrictions. Robinhood's draw the most ire, likely due to its popularity among Reddit trade traders who fueled the unprecedented rise of GameStop to begin with. So it was mostly Robinhood people. They were the ones like, we're going to do it. And there's a lot of people that aren't investing and they don't invest. And like, because this is a movement and we're going to stick it to these people invested for the first time ever in their lives just to freaking stick it to these people. Anger is a bipartisan. This is crazy. Anger is a bipartisan situation for this. Representative AOC Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, we know her. Representative Ro Khanna, Democrat from California. Senator Ted Cruz, and even Donald Trump Jr. Have all called the situation as unfair for individual investors. When you get AOC, Ted Cruz, and Donald Trump Jr. to agree on something, you fucked up. So all I can say is there are lawsuits happening. And if you have your money in Robinhood, get it out. I'm getting it out soon. I left it there because I'm recording this market peak. But I left it in there. I'm going to slowly move it out because I don't want to just cancel because I have some stuff that I know is moving up. But if you have Robinhood, just get it out because I wouldn't be surprised if they don't go under, to be completely honest with you. So Trade Zero is the one that's being hailed for not bowing down. They are another company that they allow free trades. So they're probably doing the same thing that you mentioned, Ramazan. But the exchanges, the excuse they're giving is the exchanges. So when you buy a stock, Robinhood is covering that stock. They're basically saying, okay, here you go. Here's your stock. And then Robinhood is giving it to you, but then Robinhood has to pay the exchanges. And they're saying the exchanges were telling them, we're not going to cover this anymore. That's the excuse. But this guy, Trade Zero, he was like, no, bullshit. I'm not going to let you do this to us. And he let people continue to trade. So Trade Zero, if you want to keep it, that's what I've heard. That's what I've read. Do your research. We're not giving financial advice here. None of us are financial advisors, but do your research. And Laz, you kind of laugh, but Ramazan is serious. So what's up with silver, bro?
Silver. So one of the new movement actually is going to be on the silver because silver and gold has been the real money. So remember, what we are using, what we have in our pockets is actually a currency.
Sure.
There is a huge difference between money and the currency, right? When I was opening my company, the first thing I start to, one of the businessmen told me, you need to study about the money. What is the real money? I said, well, I pull up a couple dollars in my pocket. I said, this is the money. He says, well, that's not the money. That's a currency. He says, go study about these two difference before you do any business, right?
Sure.
Currency and the real money. And the real money is considered tangible items that you cannot manipulate, which is gold and silver.
Commodities.
That's right.
Sure.
Because it comes from the earth, you cannot manipulate it. What we are doing right now, especially in United States, the society has become a society that makes money over money, right?
Wait, makes money over money? What?
That's right.
Okay.
So basically, we have less productions. That's
sure.
Right. We have less productions, but we're still the most powerful country in the world, right?
Yeah.
So that's a question mark. How much this can last?
Sure.
Right.
True.
So that's why when I started study about the money, I realized the real money is actually gold and silver. So what they are talking right now in the Wall Street bets, which is the movement that is going on,
sure.
They are betting on the silver. So
Okay.
they want everybody to buy physical silver.
Okay.
Right? Doesn't matter how much money you have.
Lucas, can you look up how much silver is right now?
$26.99.
$26.99?
1 ounce.
Is it like silver bullion? What is it? Is it just silver? I know there's like something.
So there's only so much silver, physical silver on Earth or
Sure.
gold. Right?
27.11
$27.11. Okay. So
an ounce.
all right, you made a little bit of money so far. You're up 12 cents.
No, I mean I made money. I bought it when it was $11 actually.
Oh, there you
so
go.
all
Nice.
my investment actually on silver and gold.
Sure.
I do have some stocks that I don't even look at them that I believe that it should be long term, but still, market is going to crash. It's going to go up and down. But I'm a long term guy. I used to play daily trades, but it's very
so stressful, dude.
It's very stressful.
This whole thing with
I have
naked.
2 kids. I mean, I have a business. I mean, it's really stressful.
I had
So-
a migraine for about 36 hours, and I
Yeah.
feel like that had this whole thing with naked and GameStop and my money and this and that. I feel like that was part of it. Ain't gonna
Yeah.
lie.
So silver, the ratio between gold and silver since the last 5,000 years. So 5,000 years ago up to 1914. I
You're
think.
talking about the price or the how
The
much
ratio.
How much
The
there is?
ratio, gold and silver should be 12. So with the 12 ounces of silver, you should be able to buy
1 ounce of gold.
1 ounce of gold.
Okay.
Right now is 74.
Oh shit.
Because JP Morgan has been manipulating the market the last 65 years. The real value of silver should be over $1,700, right? But what they do,
Same thing with diamonds, right?
I mean, all
Diamonds
the
is the
physical,
opposite.
all the physical precious metals. As a society, American people doesn't know a lot about the gold. But if you go to the Turkey, Egypt, India, Pakistan, you're going to see a lot of physical gold and silvers.
Sure.
That's what the real money is. That's why you cannot manipulate the market there. Right now, why the Wall Street movement is going on? Because they've been manipulating the market.
Sure.
So what they're trying to say in the movement, let's bring the silver and gold back to where it is, where it should be. Guys, but it's a little bit different. It's more complicated, right? This is worldwide. It needs to be worldwide. That's why they are asking help.
Wall Street Bets is worldwide, though.
Yes, but
it's
the stock, the GameStop is actually only in United States. But the gold and silver, it's all around the world.
Sure.
So they need help from other side of the world to order, to buy physical gold and silver.
Sure.
So we can start.
So what's crazy is, if we're talking about this, usually when the market is high, gold is low.
That's
but
right.
gold and the market are both high. So this is really kind of an interesting situation.
I don't think it's high.
What was it like? Lucas, how much is gold right now? I think it's like 1,800 an ounce. Yeah, that's high. It was like 1,200 like a few years ago. I don't know. Maybe you think it should be higher. What?
1844.
1844.
And then they said also, though, you said that they make it seem like silver is worth less.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying? Yeah.
But it's not.
But it's not.
Yeah.
The ratio between gold and silver, the perfect ratio should be 12.
12. But
Right
it's
now it's
72.
74.
74. All right, everyone, buy some silver. I'm with you. So, at the end of the day with this whole GameStop thing, it's about, these big hedge fund managers, suck it. We got this. Like I said, I'm up 900%, 800% for the year. And that's after, like, legit. If you consider where I would have been and what I ended up with, I lost like 20% of this portfolio. Like, obviously I have my other ones, but this is the one I use just for fun, not for fun, but this is the one that I've been using literally to pay my bills. Like, this account, I end up making about $5,000 a month on this account, and it's been paying my bills for the past, 7-8 months, stuff like that. But I lost 20% of this. I'm still up 800-900%, and I don't research any financial advisor or anything like that. So we don't really need them. I think it's great what's happening, and keep at it. I have 100 shares of AMC. I'm just going to hold on to it. I'll go down with the ship if I have to. It's at $15 right now. If it does what GameStop does, that money's going to turn into like, 30, 40, 50 grand. We'll see how it goes. All right, Lucas, what you got, man? You ready for your favorite, everyone's second favorite segment?
It's time for...
Wait a minute. What the fuck?
WTF News, folks. Lucas, what you got for us?
This week, the article comes from Forbes.
Forbes, okay.
Yep.
Very reputable. Nice.
Yep. And China deploys a new COVID-19 test.
Okay, so they got a new test going out, right?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Is it supposed to be like more accurate?
Oh yeah, definitely more
Okay,
accurate.
that's good. Wait, do you know
Hopefully
this, Laz?
I think I've heard this.
Okay, all right, go ahead, Lucas.
China deploys anal swab test to detect high-risk COVID-19 cases.
So anal swab, right?
Yeah.
So he's go in and
Oh yeah,
just
inch or two.
swab around the bunghole.
Yep, inch or two inside.
Wait, did you say what? Wait, what?
An inch or two.
An inch or two.
Yeah, 1
inside.
to 2 inches. Sorry.
Wow. Wow.
It's not a
Okay.
finger. It's only a Q-tip. So.
Is it a vaccine?
It's a test
No.
for the vaccine. It's a test to see if you have COVID.
Oh, I don't need anybody to tell me if I'm sick or not.
Yeah. They just,
I can
dude.
tell.
Let me tell you. Let me
So,
check.
so some of the key facts about this.
Is it really? To the ass?
Yeah, they stick it in the ass.
Yeah, it's it's like a long swab, an inch or two in your butthole, swab it around a bit, and
I thought
Could
it
you
was a
imagine
joke.
being the
I saw
testing-
it, but I thought it was a joke.
the testing facility that has to process
real?
these now.
Yeah,
like
it's
great.
real.
We started with saliva, and now we got to do bung dust.
Wait, haven't I
Jesus.
seen you?
So
in-
what do you do if you're at the airport? They ask you to take off your
Oh, that's a good
pants?
one.
I don't know.
That's an interesting. Talk about a strip search, folks. Jesus. All right. Go ahead.
So, some key facts about this.
Please.
There does not appear to be any coordinated policy for them, with reports of surprise tests for some individuals.
So like they just show up and it's like,
Yep. This
Okay.
includes
Oh, this is
passengers
China.
arriving. Yeah,
Yeah,
This
China.
includes passengers arriving in Beijing, residents of quarantine centers, and according to local officials, a group of more than 1,000 school children and teachers
Oh, my-
believed to be exposed to the virus.
Dude, I mean, who does the school? I mean, whatever.
I mean, it's medical.
Can you imagine landing in Beijing? Like, excuse me, I got to stick something up your ass before I can let you in the country.
Hey, drive-by COVID test.
Yeah,
I didn't come here
seriously.
for that.
Drive by. Yeah, you just pull up, you stick your butt out the window. All
I
right.
swear,
well,
I thought it was a joke.
I thought it was a joke too, but I guess it's real. Well, it's Forbes. He said Forbes.
Yeah,
so
it has to be real.
That's where you have to like look. You really
Yeah.
make sure it's coming from a reputable source. All right. Well, if you want any music on our show, hit us up and review us, follow us, like us, all that stuff. Once again, all the stock stuff is going to be Market Peak PEEK. By the time this comes out, we should have our first episode up. If not, shortly thereafter. Like I said, it's already recorded. Any last minute thoughts? Anyone? All right. We'll see you guys in a few days. Boom.
Cause I'm feeling in rapture.